For a peaceful night in Malition, so we will be looking at another one of the Korean Eternity posts, and this one's about the new BGMs for the game, the new background music. So this time I would like to talk about the background music that was introduced at the 20th Anniversary Winter Showcase. They played the new themes for Dumbarton. First of all, please read while listening to the new BGM of Dumbarton that was first released. So they have a new BGM for Dumbarton during the day, and a new theme for Dumbarton at night. And they also added the new songs for Turconale during the daytime and during the nighttime, and for Tailton during day and night. But since they ask us to listen to the new BGM while we read about it, let's listen to the new Dumbarton theme during the day. So Mabinogi provides a wide variety of sound sources, starting from the village where you first step into a new world. Many NPCs you encounter in Erin also have their own theme songs. I think every Militian has a BGM that they cherish and love the most in their hearts. As the service has continued for over 20 years, BGM has also been gradually accumulated. In the process, some sound sources have been rearranged into an orchestra, and title songs such as Old Legends Told by My Grandmother When I Was Young have been consistently rearranged into various versions. Militians who have consistently enjoyed Mabinogi will know well that they can simultaneously appreciate the history of changes from MIDI sound sources that bring back old memories to recently applied real sound sources or orchestral versions. However, I started to wonder if it would really give that kind of impression to those who are new to Mabinogi. When I do mainstream, I often go back and forth between different regions. Since the BGMs that change as I move between regions are all produced at different times, I always felt that I could clearly feel the traces of time, and this always bothered me. In addition, since we are now moving to Unreal Engine, I also thought about whether there were areas where we could enhance the emotional experience. The exciting and lively town BGM, which is Dumbarton's, is good, but what if we maintained a slightly calmer and more lyrical atmosphere when night falls? I also thought about this, and I wanted to include a feature in Mabinogi where the sky gradually turns purple and the BGM naturally transitions and becomes calm at the same time. After several internal discussions, we first decided on a direction for producing the night version. While maintaining the original sensibility, we decided to focus on conveying the unique atmosphere of night above all else. If necessary, we included options such as slightly slowing down the tempo compared to the original song used for the day version, changing some of the instruments that give off a lively feeling or lowering the key. And it looks like we got through Dumbarton's day theme. Let's check out the night one too. I thought that the night version should be somewhat in line with the original song that will be used as the day version to create more synergy in order to smoothly change from day to night while maintaining the concept and atmosphere of the original sound source. We internally agreed that it would be good to consider refining both day and night. In other words, the original song needs to be revised or improved. Unlike the newly produced night version, the day version needed to be approached much more cautiously because there is an area of familiarity attached. In order to transplant the unique emotion conveyed by the original song as best as possible, we collaborated with our in-house sound team Neckward and explained what emotions were mainly conveyed in the existing BGM and what kind of atmosphere, concept, and characteristics the region themed on this sound source had. After receiving a lot of feedback and discussions over a really long period of time, improvements to the day and night version are also in progress. We also paid attention to properly adjusting the balance and harmony between the songs while improving them simultaneously, such as making sure that the types of instruments used do not harm the concept of the town. In addition to the feature that naturally transitions BGM as time passes from day to night, we are currently reviewing other elements that can convey the unique sentiment that can only be felt in Mabinogi. So yeah, I think they did a really good job with all 6 of these tracks that are up here. So go ahead and listen to all of them, they're really good. And you can even download them if you want to. So we'll be looking at another Eternity post on the Eternity section on the Mabinogi Korean site. So teacher, I have cool skin tone. So this post is about like skin tones and like how they work in Pleon Engine and like how they are going to be reworked into Unreal. So why do the colors I see on the color chip look different from the colors applied to the actual character? I chose the same skin color, but why do humans, elves, and giants appear as different colors? It was such a shame that we couldn't express various skin tones. So why are the actual application colors different? This phenomenon is due to Mabinogi's existing character creation method. In Mabinogi, the character's skin color was implemented based on fixed color values. This method made the colors look different even when the same color was applied because each race had different color values. In Pleon, this color value was fixed, so it was an area that could not be modified. Because fixed color values had the advantage of making the colors richer until recently, skin tones in Unreal were being developed similar to those in Pleon. It's Unreal, so this shouldn't be a limitation. We decided to find another way to improve. It was always a shame that I couldn't apply the desired skin color to the character. To address this limitation, a complete overhaul of the manufacturing method was required. Delete the fixed values specified in the modeling itself. We've made changes to the texture creation method based on gray so that colors can be accurately applied to the skin based on color values. So here you can see an example. Changed the skin color that had a fixed value to gray. There's nothing wrong with the image. And this is a comparison image of Pleon and Unreal with the same skin color applied after modifying the production method. As you can see, Unreal focuses on creating an environment where it is easy to express a variety of personalities by implementing skin color as is. In the future, you will be able to have fun finding a personal color that matches your character's color preference, and making your personality and charm stand out even more. We will continue to work to create a more immersive and enjoyable environment in the future. So yeah, this was a interesting post that explains how the skin colors currently work in Pleon Engine, and what needs to be done to make them work better in Unreal Engine. New facial. So we'll be looking at another post on the Korean Eternity section about faces in Mabinogi and how they're going to be reworked in Unreal Engine. So, Eternity supports 3-dimensional facial expressions. In this post, I'd like to take time to explain the new facial appearance of Eternity. So, currently in Mabinogi, all eyes and mouths are implemented by rendering textures, 2D pictures, onto the face mesh 3D model. To put it simply, blinking eyes, beauty coupons, smiling faces, and crying faces are all implemented by replacing the textures that are rendered at the time. Okay, so this is showing how like the eyes and the face work. So you can see like the examples here and here, and this is like how blinking works. But it's already been 20 years since Militians have lived in Erin. In the meantime, the world has developed rapidly, and the appearances of characters in games have become more standardized day by day. These days, games implement beautiful appearances with mesh molding rather than textures. Since textures are only 2D images, it is difficult to express 3-dimensionality or natural movements. Despite the painstaking efforts and research into extreme expressions possible with textures, there are fundamental limits to the range of expressions possible with textures. However, the data accumulated over decades of service and technical limitations of the old engine were holding us back, and it was difficult to proceed while modifying the structure of the game that was already in the midst of a fierce live service. But we are working on replacing it with Unreal Engine. If that's the case, wouldn't Mabinogi also be able to have characters with beautiful appearances like in modern games? Since we're making a new one anyway. But there are some things to consider first. So first, there is a cartoon-like emotional expression unique to Mabinogi that is only possible with textures. This kind of expression is hard to make with mesh, and even if you do, it doesn't have the unique feel of a texture. I mentioned earlier that it's hard to bring out a sense of 3-dimensionality with texture, but in this case it's more natural expression to remove the sense of 3-dimensionality. If you look closely at the first expression in particular, the mouth is sticking out of the face, which you can see here, which is a very ambiguous part to make with mesh. Also, these cartoonish expressions are a unique sensibility of Mabinogi. And second, if you decide to express all the existing texture eyes with meshes, you can't help but think about the fate of the hundreds of existing texture eyes. Since it's a game that's been in service for a long time, there are cases where the resolution of old resources is low, causing a jagged staircase phenomenon in the eyebrows. then there may be an option to upscale old texture resources, in which case there may be a slight change in impression. From the developer's point of view, the intention was to provide a clearer appearance by cleaning up with the lines and increasing the resolution, but the change in impression felt by the Militians was much greater than we expected. Therefore, even simple upscaling is an area that must be approached carefully. After much internal thought and discussion, we decided to remake all texture eyes in mesh form, except for the expression textures that appear briefly. We will do our best to minimize the difference in impression that will occur during this process. Because of the issues mentioned above, we couldn't completely abandon the eyes or mouths expressed with texture. We sought a way to express both. First of all, since the basic eye expression has changed from texture to mesh, the method of simply replacing the stickers to be attached to the mesh as shown above cannot be used. Instead, the mesh itself for the eye area needs to be replaced. To do this, Eternity had to separate the face part into eye, mouth, face, shape sections. So here you can see the three different sections. There's the face, and then there's the eyes, and then there's the mouth. In the future, instead of just replacing the stickers that go on the eyes or mouth area, you'll be replacing the eyes or chin itself. To continue with the following explanation, we first need to know about morphing. It's similar in 3D. It's a smooth connection between mesh in state A to mesh in state B. Morphing allows you to create a variety of expressions from a single eye-mouth mesh. For a completely different shaped eyes, such as Beauty Coupon, you must replace the mesh itself. So how do we express both mesh eyes and texture eyes through this morphing thing? From now on, Eternity's characters are Transformers. The purpose of this unidentified mask is as follows. So when making an expression that can only be expressed with this type of texture, the mask moves forward in front of the eyes through morphing, attaching texture to the advanced mask. When it returns to the default expression after a certain amount of time has passed, back again through morphing behind the eyes. This process allowed us to express both texture and mesh expressions as needed. And you can see how like the texture expression like pushes out and moves, it covers the eyes. So that's how that works. But in the actual game, it's processed in a split second, so you don't notice these processes. But like, this is what's really going on. That's cool. The mouth is processed in the same way as the eyes. So far, we have introduced you to Eternity's new facial system. How do you like it? I'm already excited to walk around in Erin with my new look. I hope you Militians like it too. So yeah, this was a very interesting read about like how faces currently work in Leon Engine and how they're going to work in Unreal Engine. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section. So this one's walking into Unreal, Tara's construction. In the early stages of the move, we prioritized concerns like how can we implement the unique sensibility of Mabinogi in Unreal Engine. Just when we thought we could catch our breath after achieving small but meaningful results, we were immediately faced with the mission to rebuild a massive amount of buildings that had been produced over 20 years ago. Really, we got stuck in a swamp of production that seemed to have no end. The workload was overwhelming, but because each building had its own unique theme and identity, we had no choice but to personally create each one with great care. So here we can see some of the buildings in Dumbarton. There were buildings with elaborate patterns all over the city, and the problem was that there was really a lot of them. So modularize it. So that's how the modularization process started. Fortunately, Tara was a city with standardized designs, so it was possible to plan the separation and reorganization of buildings. Thanks to this, we were able to plan an efficient work process, and the background team was able to get one step closer to completing the reconstruction mission. What is modularization? Modularization is a game production method that divides various elements that make up a 3D environment into small reusable units, or modules, and combines these into various configurations to create environments or structures. Each module has a basic structure, and by placing or combining several of them, it is possible to create complex backgrounds. For example, by combining several types of wall sets and columns and stairs to fill in the gaps, you can create several buildings of various sizes. So this shows you like an example of what you can combine and how it can like make a building. So that looks really good. So I tried to generate an example of modularization using AI. It's similar but not exact. So yeah, it looks good, but it's not exactly like it should be for Mabinogi. So first gather buildings with the same theme, then figure out what can be used repeatedly for each building with that theme, and consider width, height, depth, design, features, etc. to plan how to divide them. Then start with a large classification and narrow it down to details. Then reverse assemble them to check if there are any things you missed during the division. It may look like it will be easy when you see the image, but since Mabinogi was not designed to be modular from the beginning, it is actually much more difficult than you might think. It seems complicated. Is there a reason for modularizing it to this extent? The first is efficiency. Since you can combine multiple modules to create various shapes, you can produce a variety of products while reducing repetitive work. You only need to work on one set of modules, and you can create multiple building combinations with it. The second is flexibility in design changes. Modification of one module automatically reflects everywhere that the module is used, so design changes can be applied in batches, In addition, the modular system is advantageous in applying various concept styles. For example, applying different concepts and colors to the same wall module can produce results with different moods. The third one helps with optimization. Many objects affect performance when rendered. Using modular backgrounds reduces redundant data and allows you to load and render some of them as needed, which helps optimize performance. You can improve performance by loading only modules needed in certain areas to minimize memory usage and dynamically loading modules according to the camera's view. And the fourth is reusability. Modular parts can be reused in completely different environments, allowing content creation while maintaining a consistent identity. The same modular structure of windows, doors, and building walls used in Tara can be applied to other towns in the future. Even if it cannot be used in the towns currently produced due to the concept implementation issues, it can be used as a foundation for new content that will be updated in the future, allowing for smoother world building. So here you can see what some of the buildings in Tara will look like in Unreal Engine. These are the Tara buildings that have actually been modularized. We are putting a lot of effort into making them efficient while maintaining quality. Can you imagine what the new Tara will look like? We are diligently continuing to accumulate architectural know-how so that we can simultaneously take advantage of the original identity of Mabinogi's background and the new environment called Unreal. In this way, Mabinogi's background is continuously being built and expanded with various attempts and considerations, so we ask for your interest and support. So yeah, this was a really good post. It's nice to see what some of these buildings will look like in Unreal Engine. So we'll be looking at another Korean Eternity post that came out on the Korean Eternity microsite. So this one's all about chairs and sitting. Suddenly the sitting position and posture change and the legs are buried in the chair. You can kind of see how the feet are buried in the chair there and how that doesn't look right. It's clipping through. And then when you stand up, I stand in the buried chair. Your character appears in the middle of it. So this is going to be about how to fix all that. Looking at the current state of Pleon Engine, there were issues with sitting down and standing movements. Suddenly the position changed and the awkward sight of the legs being buried in the chair was seen. So why does this happen? This is because each character has a different height and leg length, and size of the chair is also different. Development points for implementing natural sitting, so these are the things that they plan on adding to help your character sit better. Applying these 7 elements will result in much more natural movements. When you use the rest skill, you should be able to find a chair within a 5-meter radius and sit on it. When generating the navigation mesh, the area where the character can move, considering the character's maximum collision box size, there were cases where the chair was inaccessible. I explained the situation to the person in charge and adjusted the chair collision box to make the chair accessible. So there is a large height difference between a small character and a large character. So yeah, there is a height difference between humans, giants, elves, and whatever age that you have your character set at, because the age system is basically a height adjuster for your characters. This diversity allows us to create data assets that can be customized by race and age. So prepare to sit down. When sitting, the direction you look should be towards the chair, that is, the opposite direction you approached the chair. Even if you move to the sitting position using the route finder, there may be a slight error, so this position error is also corrected through interpolation. This process takes about 0.2 seconds to process naturally. And sit down. While playing the sitting motion, slowly adjust the position of your hips to the sitting position of the chair. In the Pleon engine, there was a phenomenon of bouncing when adjusting the height before sitting down. But this was improved by adding additional processing to move to the target position through interpolation during the animation. For the same reason as the starting sitting position, small characters are set to sit in front of the chair, and large characters are set to sit inside the chair. This can also be adjusted by race and age in data asset. So we can see that example down here. You can see a small human character, and you can see that when she's sitting on the chair, she's sitting more towards the front of the chair. And we have a taller giant character, and when they sit down, like they're further back on the chair, it looks like. So you can see how this already looks a lot better than it currently does in our current version of Mabinogi. Although those plants are kind of clipping through the bench. But this is just a test, so I'm sure they'll iron that out. And this was posted by Chair King, so cool avatar. But yeah, this is all about like chairs and like sitting and how all those physics work. Alright, let's play Mabinogi today. I was gonna play yesterday, but then I kind of changed my mind. Like, I was gonna stream it yesterday. I did still check in for my dailies, but I don't know. I haven't been as motivated to play Mabinogi as much, because of all the, like, bad updates from Choi Dong-min and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. But let's start with event stuff, and then we're probably gonna do maybe some techs. I don't know if I want to do techs or veteran dungeon, and then some commerce. I guess salmon for the fishing daily here. Oh wait, I forgot to claim those. Okay, so tomorrow we'll get her bonds to 90, and then on Friday we'll take her level up to 90 with gems, and then we'll be able to get 3 of those spirit gems from the dinosaur event that can level her up 3 levels, and we can get her up to 99 with those. I need 7 for this one? Alright. Worry about that later. Okay, part-time job and fishing. We're just gonna do that one. I'm doing the bare minimum for the Doki Doki events because I'm only interested in a couple of rewards from the shop. I don't really care about the Doki Doki event anymore. I don't like the new island with Carenza and all this weird stuff. They removed all the cool cat props. It's kind of sad. Let's go to the dance thing for the second part of the Live, Laugh, Love quest. Oh, we got the easy combo. Okay, that's done. Oh, right, and I actually got the sunflower damage skin like last night, so I'll show off that today. I'll make it a little short video showing it off. And then I need a slice of meat. I think the next thing is use the lullaby skill, then interact with the dinosaur. Hello, Alec. Thanks for the raid. I'm working on my daily for the dinosaur event. I think the last thing is just interact with the dinosaur. So let's do food time this time. I should probably check in on that dinosaur soul thing. I might be able to make some progress with that. Okay, yeah, that one's 10 times. And then... 5 more times. And then we can get a spirit stone that takes a spirit weapon to level 100. I think I'll probably use that on my shuriken. That's a low level. Yeah, my shuriken and sword are the low level spirit weapons, so I'll probably use it on the shuriken. Because I imagine the ninja is probably due for an arcana soon. I'm expecting there to be like 2 new arcana in Korea announced, maybe at the fantasy party in June or whatever, so... maybe ninja will be one of the next ones. I should have a shuriken ready for that. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to do a veteran dungeon or not. Let's find out what it is first, and then I'll decide if I want to do that or Tex. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that one. I mean, I do have this nearite. Yeah, I guess I'll work on text today. So we're going to use Dark Diviner for that. We're already in it, so that's good. And then... so I'll use up maybe 7 or 8 of this nearite, and then we'll do commerce for the rest of the stream. Oh, and when can I do a rebirth? Like 29 minutes. Wow, that's actually pretty close. Oh, and doll bags too. Get these 2 out.
막히지 않게 이내 기척을 감추네 굳게 닫힌 문 너머 어디를 닿게 된다면 그때는
So that's about 8 of the Neurite, I think. We're gonna rebirth real quick since I have the ability to do that. Let's go and put these spirit gems up here. I'm gonna rebirth to remove that that Japari effect early. Because that debuff effect prevents us from using the Japari buff for like an hour. But if you rebirth, you can remove that debuff earlier. I think I'll just use up the rest of this Neurite today, why not? Let's just do 5 more runs. And then we'll do commerce for the rest of the stream. Alright, I'll use up those other 2 Neorite later. That's good enough for now. I still have a week, 8 days to use that potion. And we have a bunch of these checks. So let's go ahead and deal with those next. And spirit weapon. Oh wait, not you. This one. Oh wait, is she maxed out on XP for the week? Crap, that's not good. When does that refresh? On Saturday? Oh, what a waste of time. Fine, I guess I'll have to level her up on Saturday when that refreshes. And then we'll get her up to 90, then we'll use the spirit gems from the dinosaur event to get her up 9 levels to 99. And then I can get the last level naturally for gems and stuff. And really quick, let's also take a look at the sunflower damage skin too. Actually, maybe this isn't the best area to do that. Where would be a good spot to show that off? Maybe Amphilia, that'll be fine. We'll use the foxes there. And let's use a damaged skin to compare it with too. Okay, deactivate this one. Wait, the Celtic Knot one goes here. Yeah, the Avid Reader one goes here. The Sunflower one's gonna go here. So any new damage skin after that is gonna belong in these one of these next 2 bags. Wow. A lot of damage skins. So today we'll be looking at the Sunflower damage skin. This is the damage skin from the new Doki Doki event that's currently going on. I think it costs 150 of the event coins. The Golden Blossom coins. So let's see what it actually looks like. So here we can see numbers with sunflowers around them. It's kind of a nice looking summer damage skin. And now let's look at it without a damage skin being active. So this is what the damage numbers normally look like. So it looks like the damage numbers are about twice as big with the sunflower damage skin. Let's see how that compares to something like the Burning Flame damage skin, which is one of the bigger ones. So the Burning Flame damage skin is about 3 times bigger. The damage numbers are about 3 times bigger than the damage numbers without a damage skin. It looks like the Sunflower damage skin damage numbers are about the same size as the Burning Flame ones, maybe a little bit smaller. It's kind of hard to tell. I think the damage skin numbers for the Sunflower one is just a little bit smaller than the Burning Flame damage skin numbers, but it's still okay. It still looks nice. And the numbers are still pretty easy to read, even with sunflowers all over them, so that's good. So yeah, that's the sunflower damage skin that you can get from the Doki Doki Island event that's currently going on. I'll probably have that up as a small video. Probably before midnight tonight. Okay, now we'll do commerce. Maybe I should do commerce from here. Maybe not, but we'll at least see what they have. Is this... I forget if Philia is the one I use the camel for, or the alpaca. It depends on how much the items weigh. It's been a long time since I've traded from here. These things are pretty heavy, so yeah, I'd probably use the camel. Now let's go see what they have in core. I'll see if they have any of that coracle rubber. It'd be nice to trade some of that. But usually they're sold out. Oh, they do have some. Nice. Let's take that Tequila, and we'll take some of those Latera raspberries Tequila as well. Alright, so we're gonna make a big run today. Use some of that reduction candy. And get some speed potions. Wait, why isn't that working? Maybe I have to get off them out. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we're just gonna go all the way to Aquila. Alright, let's run this stuff to Vales and make a long trip. Okay, let's put this stuff away real quick, and I think that's good enough for commerce for today. Not that cat. Oh, this one has a bunch of those ice crystals for bridges in it. This one then. Copper. Iron. Oh wait, that's stuff in its inventory. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, we will wrap up the Mabby stream right around here. And continue Mabinogi tomorrow. I'm kind of thinking... I did a dungeon video on Mabinogi. How long ago was that? A couple months ago? I want to do another video that covers, like... that covers shadow missions more instead, like not specifically dungeons, but like shadow missions. And I'm also talking about like Avon missions and Baltane and Tex. So it'd sort of be like a second dungeon video, but with those topics as the main focus. I've been meaning to do a video like that for a while actually, but I've just had a lot going on, so I haven't really found a good time to actually think about it and make a video about that. So I might make that on Friday, and then maybe I'll have it like out late Friday or Saturday or something. Because I really want to do one. So hopefully I'll get that done before the end of the month.